These new images released to CBS News by the FBI. Now, those are not only images, they are now for the first time video as well. Let's just go ahead and watch this together as a national and international audience. Those thick gloves, tweeted by FBI Kash Patel, showing going up and doing something to a camera there. This is presumably on the front porch of Nancy Guthrie's home. Touches the camera, does something, walks away, walks out off of the sidewalk, then goes and retrieves something, picks it up, and then approaches that camera again. Again, you see the gloves. You see the fist there, messing with the camera. Let's bring in CBS News senior coordinating producer Anna Schecter watching this with me in real time. Why going back and forth and pushing that rubber glove up against the camera, Anna?
Well, we know that this individual wanted to take this camera and did ultimately actually physically take the camera from where it was screwed in there to the outside of Nancy Guthrie's home. So luckily, a technology company, and we can report that it's Google, she has Nest cameras in her home. So Google worked with law enforcement to recover this video. It took them at least a week. They've been working on this for more than a week. So this image is extraordinary. Unfortunately, you do not see the face of the individual. So there's no facial recognition software, but the video does give you a sense of the build of the person, and those are unusual gloves. The backpack is distinctive. There's a distinctive zipper on the front of the jacket of the individual, and even a distinctive looking face mask, just the full type of ski mask. It's kind of right out of a horror movie there.
Right.
That image that we're seeing on our screens right there. So if anyone finds those items, that's going to be helpful.
Well, and then the video that we just were showing our viewers, Anna, is showing this person grabbing foliage of some sort and waving it in front of the camera. I don't know if we can go back to that or not. This is really important information. It's just important we paint the screen with this. That foliage, once back and forth in front of that camera, is that testing to see if a light comes on to verify that it's recording? What could that be?
Yeah, law enforcement officials tell our own Jen Jacobs in D.C. that it is prairie brush that he's holding up. Maybe just checking to see if it's registering on the camera, but regardless, the individual was able to take that camera, and that impeded this law enforcement investigation because it took police days to recover these videos and these images, which would have been very helpful to have when police showed up at the crime scene on Sunday afternoon. And unfortunately, they didn't have access to these until later. We don't know exactly when, but I imagine that they would have wanted to put this out pretty quickly, given that so many days have passed and they have already said they need the public's help in looking for this individual who took Nancy Guthrie from her home.
I'm remembering Savannah Guthrie's plea on social media not long ago, where she uses, and I'm just going to paraphrase here, the notion that even any small detail that you know about could be what breaks the case. And so right now we're seeing some small details. You're seeing those what appear to be black rubber gloves, and you can see that small detail. They go up beyond the cuff of that sleeve. You're seeing the zipper, the detail. You're seeing the detail of the shoes, the backpack, even the mask. Anna, how important are these details, not only to the FBI, not only to investigators, but to a family who likely is sick at seeing into the eyes of the person that did this?
Well, they are crucial because right now they are the best hope at the public identifying who this is. They are the best hope for people to be looking out for someone of this build wearing similar clothing, or maybe did they find it in a dumpster somewhere, because that could be a clue as to a point on a journey during this timeline from overnight Saturday into Sunday, January 31st into February 1st, and then them disappearing for this amount of time. So this is extremely helpful, and this is policing in this day and age. It is technology that helps to solve these cases. Without this video, it would probably, police would have nothing at this point in this particular case. And as we've seen with the Brown University shooting, it was a person who saw the suspect, but also it was license plate reader cameras and surveillance cameras that identified the same vehicle outside of Brown University and near the home of the MIT professor who was shot. It's because of those license plate reader cameras that we and law enforcement knew that those two crimes were linked. Same going back to Luigi Mangione. Had there not have been those images of his face in the taxi cab and the grainier footage, the image from the hostel where Mangione was staying in Upper Manhattan, had those not been released to the public, those people at the Altoona, Pennsylvania McDonald's would not have recognized him. So this is how it works. Even though we can't see his face, this is very important in this investigation. Reed?
Well, and also it just invites so many more questions. You know, I haven't actually been to the home. I presume you have not either, but our reporters there have. And so we have a general sense of the layout. And this is what we can assume is the front door to that home, where also the DNA analysis shows the blood that belongs to Nancy Guthrie was found there at that front door to the home. Does it strike you that this person did not try to enter through a side door or go over one of the back fences or go in a place that was perhaps less visible, and instead we see a front door scene here where a front doorbell Nest camera was taken?
That's a really important observation, and almost from the get-go, the sheriff has told CBS News, told our own Jonathan Vigliotti out there, that the way the individual entered the house is crucial to this case and is very important. And if somebody got inside the house without much trouble, that is an important information that speaks to potentially familiarity with the home, having cased the home, or having been there before.
Well, we're going to bring you back and continue talking to us, Anna, but what hits me right now is thinking of Savannah Guthrie and her family. I've worked in the past with Savannah Guthrie. I cannot imagine the horror after seeing into the eyes of this person.